Welcome in, everybody. My name is Kitty Tetra. Kitty Tetra, and today we are going to start this off great. Today we are doing the last tutorial in the You Are Hope main menu. This is the steel tools or making tools. I think it was steel tools. Anyways, so this is the last one. I'm personally, I don't think this one is going to be as hard as the last one we did, the farming and the cooking. I don't know why that one is so hard, but this one I think it's mostly like make an oven, make tools. That's that. So they give you some clothes to slow down your hunger, because if you wear a full set of clothes, you don't get as hungry as quick. So we're gonna put that on so I stop dying as quickly. And we're gonna walk around and we're gonna see what they got us. They got us plenty of bananas, knowing that that will fill us up well. And let's see, do they have what they want us to make, or are we just guessing here? Let me zoom out real quick. If I am zoomed out, okay. We're not going to tell you what tools to make. You just make something and it's the best. Oh man. All right. Well, you know what? Are they down here? No. So the very first thing we're going to do is make our forge and make our clay. So we're going to grab our round rock. I'm going to hit it against this beautiful big hard rock to make a sharpstone. And then we are going to whack all this right here, because we're going to need 4 pieces to make the complete forge. And we're going to grab our clay and we're going to put the forge, I don't think it really matters, but let's put it right here. And then we're going to grab this. So this is one. And then we're going to do it again. And as I mentioned before, you can only do 2 adobe at a time. You can't stack 3. So here's your 2. And it's going to first turn into an oven, but we need to turn it into a forge. So whack it once. And then grab another clay. And then grab this. We're going to put it on top of the oven, like this. And that's going to give the forge the little thingy. And then lastly, we need to make the back, which is what's going to plug up the forge while you cook the rest of the stuff, the iron. I'm going to put that here. Now we're going to grab a banana. Alrighty, so for this tutorial, let us do 3 bowls and 3 plates. Just 3 small plates, I meant. No big ones. We're not cooking in this one, so we're gonna grab 6 pieces of clay right here, and I'm just gonna line them up in the corner. I don't think it really matters, but just making it look pretty. And I also can get a visual of what I'm going to do. So now that we have all the clay, before you whack it, there's one other piece you need to do. So you're going to grab your sharpstone. You're going to head over to this sapling. You're going to drag it like this until it becomes a skewer. And then you're going to take the skewer and you're going to drag the skewer over to one of the clay pieces. It doesn't matter which clay, just any of them, until it forms a little wet clay nozzle. Because we're going to need to use this for the bellow. I believe I said that right. If not, it will correct me later. So this should be your setup here. I'll have my person stand so you can see how many pieces of clay you need and have your little clay nozzle. So once you have all that, we're going to now start turning them into what we need. So 3 bowls. And then 3 plates. Again, you might not need all this, but it's been a while, so we're just gonna take safety measures. And now we're going to grab our flat stones, because we're gonna need these to cook the iron later. So we're just gonna set these aside. And now we need to make our fire, because what kind of tutorial on the main menu would it be if we didn't make our fire for every single one? Now, does it want us to make it from scratch? Yes, it does look like it wants us to make it from scratch. So we're gonna grab 2 of these. There we go. I took my shoe off. Okay. Okay. We're gonna hit this with the sharp stone to make 2 shafts. One shaft is gonna be for cooking, and the other shaft is gonna be for fire. And now we need our curved stick. Here we go. We're gonna whack this to make it a curved shaft. And then we're gonna grab 2 pieces of rope. We're gonna need 2 pieces for different tools. So here's our first rope. We're gonna stick it on here. And then we're going to take this straight stick, turn it into a long shaft, and then turn it into a short shaft. And then drag it onto the drill to make a firebow drill. So in order to make the hatchet, you're going to grab a straight stick. You're going to take your sharp stone, and then you're going to whack it twice to turn it into a short shaft like this. And then you're going to go over here and you're going to grab 2 milkweeds to turn it into a rope. Grab the rope and drag it onto the short shaft like this. And then you're going to grab a stone and then turn this into a sharp stone. And then drag the sharp stone onto the shaft to make a hatchet, because we need to make kindling. Because I don't see it. So you can use a few things for kindling. You can use the trees and stuff, but it looks like they gave us wood, so let's use the wood for kindling. I'm gonna whack it with the hatchet once my girl's done lagging. She's trying, guys, she's trying. And now we're going to go grab a piece of tree leaf. And then like before, we grab our juniper. And now we can make our fire. So we're gonna put our juniper down, grab our firebow drill, and then we're gonna grab our leaf, drag it to the shaft that's burning, then drag the burning leaf to the tinder, then grab our kindling, add it to the fire, and then we are going to prolong the fire. So we're going to put some firewood on it, that way it burns longer. And now we're going to make another piece of kindling. So we're going to grab a piece of wood, and then we're going to hit it with a shaft like this. The hatchet's not a shaft. We're going to hit it with the hatchet like that. Drag it into the forge. Take our extra shaft right here. And do you see this right here? This is actually where you're going to get your flint. So you're going to take your sharp stone and drag it. You can find these in a couple biomes. I think the wasteland and the grass biome. I don't know if it's in the desert. But once you get your flint, you're going to drag your flint onto the shaft to turn it into tongs. So we've done that before. We covered that in a previous tutorial. And now we can take our shaft, drag it into the forge like this. We're going to start cooking the bowls and the plates. So this might take my girl a couple times because she is lagging, so I do apologize. If your fire is still burning, as you see mine is, take the adobe and put it on top of the forge like this, because you're going to want to make some coal. So while the coal's cooking, you're going to come over here and you're going to hit 2 pieces of reed and make a basket. Because this is how you're going to take the coal out of the forge. Like this. And then we're going to work on the bellows. Take the adobe off. I like to put it in the back. And then you're going to grab your basket. You're going to drag it so you can get a basket of coal and rest it here. This will make a lot of sense later on when we start making the iron tools. But we're just going to put the coal down there for now. And next we're going to make the snare, because we need a rabbit to make the bellows. So you're going to grab a straight stick again. You're going to go over here and find your sharp stone, wherever you may have put it. And you're going to hit your straight stick 3 times to make it into a steak, I believe it's called. So that's the long shaft, that's the short shaft, and that's the steak, right? Stack, steak, stacks. I'm really bad at reading, in case you didn't realize. Not my strongest thing. So now you're going to grab 2 pieces of milkweed to make a rope. And you're gonna go back to the stack steak, and you're gonna drag it onto it, and now you made yourself a snare. So now you're gonna head over here to your rabbit, and you're just gonna wait until it dies. So while it dies, let's get this fire going, and we're gonna constantly keep my person from dying by eating bananas. She's actually doing pretty good. She's doing pretty good. I'm gonna stick this into the forge. Alright, so now we're going to grab our little rabbit friend, and we're going to skin him. And this time, in all the other tutorials, we needed his meat, but this time we actually need his fur. So once you have his fur, grab the flint like this. Well, we're going to need his meat later too. I should have made a fire. But once you have his fur, you're going to want to whack it in half like this. And keep it together because we need to turn it into a, I forget what it is. It's like a little water pouch. And now we're going to need to make another little fire because we need to cook the rabbit meat. But now while that's doing that, we're going to need to grab the skewer and make sure you wait till your fire goes out because you cannot cook the rabbit with fire. You have to wait till it's coal. Because you will burn it. Alright, so now that the fire's out, we're gonna cook the rabbit, place it down, and you're gonna eat it, because this time you gotta use its skeleton. So once you get the little skeleton, place it on the ground and pick it up again, and it's going to leave a little tiny rabbit bone. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab the flint, you're gonna whack the bone like this, and you're gonna turn it into a bone needle. This is what you're going to use for beginning sewing. You can make a lot of rabbit clothes with it, but we're going to be using it for the bellows. So you're going to grab 1 piece of milkweed, not 2, because you're not going to need a rope. You're just going to need 1 piece like this, and then you're going to drag it to the bone to make a needle and thread. Then you're going to go over here to your 4 pieces of cut rabbit fur, and you're going to drag it on there to make, I believe, yeah, so the water pouch. If you separated it, it would have made shoes, and we're not making shoes. You're going to make the pouch. So then you're going to come over here, and you're going to drag your pouch onto the tongs like this, and it's going to make the bellows without the nozzle, but we cooked the nozzle earlier, so now we're just going to drag the nozzle on there, and boom, you got yourself the bellows. Which you're going to need for foraging. And you're going to make yourself another tong. Now again, you can make both tongs at the beginning. Or you can make them as like a step-by-step process. It's honestly up to you which way you decide to do it. So now that we have everything set up, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your iron. We're going to start up the fire. So we're going to grab our shaft. Start the fire, and now this time we're going to grab the adobe and we're going to block it because you cannot cook iron with just a fire like that. You have to have coals in the bellows, and I like to put the stones a little bit closer when I forge, just because it makes it a tad bit faster. Now I don't know how fast it's gonna be with the lagging tutorial, but we're gonna do our best. And because I'm gonna try to make 2 at a time, we're just gonna stack it like this, and you'll see why after. So once the fire's all cooled off, you're gonna place that in the back. You're gonna grab your bellows, and you're gonna place it on top like this. So this is basically a completed forge. So now we're going to grab our fire. We're going to start the forge. And now we're going to grab our tongs and we're going to start cooking the iron. Now the iron does cool down. I will show you what that looks like just for tutorial sakes in case you mess up. So we're going to do one that's been cooled off, one that's not. So hit it with the round rock in order to turn it into a rot. So see how that turns black if say you didn't hit it in time? Just grab it again, quickly put it back in the forge to warm it up, and then you can hit it. So don't be discouraged if it turns like a little dark cooled off color. It happens, especially when you're learning how to play. Like just recook it, that's all. It's okay. It happens. So now what you're going to do is you're going to grab some more wood and you're going to turn it into, you're going to turn it into kindling, and you're going to put it back into the forge, because once again you want to warm up the forge and put the bellows on like this. Put your adobe. And so you know how I pulled that coal out earlier? This is when the coal comes in handy, so charcoal. So you're going to take one piece of charcoal, put it in one bowl, take the other piece of charcoal, and put it in the other bowl. Then with the wrought iron, you're going to stick that in the bowl, just like this. And then you're going to cover the bowls with a small plate, so like this. So when you have it all completed, it should look like this, and it should say Unforged Steel Crucible. So once that's done, you're going to open this up like so. You're going to take your bellows, place it back on there, and my stick still has fire, so we might as well just light it up. You're going to take your crucibles, and you're going to put them in the fire. And you know it would work if you hear that noise. It means you are doing the right thing. So now we're going to wait, because we have to. We have to wait for these to cool off. See, I can't open them. And once again, we're going to start the forge and then put the bellows on it. So we're repeating the other process. And close it. So now the steel crucible should be cooled off, so we should be able to take the plates off like this. And now you should have a iron ingot, which is what we're going to need to make our hammer. I believe it's called the smithing hammer, and the axe. So before we go and put the bellows on, we're actually going to grab the two shafts that we need for these two things. So you're going to need two long shafts. So we're going to grab them right here. You're going to bring them down with me down to the forgy area. Separate them. And then you're going to take your sharp stone. Yep, sharp stone. And you're going to make one into a long shaft. And then you're going to make one into a short shaft. Like this. And place that down. And now we're going to cook the iron ingots. Then we're going to come over here, start it. Now you're going to grab your tong like this. Grab one of the ingots, warm it up. Place it onto the stone. Grab your round rock, and just like it was before, hit it once. And again, if you mess up, again, you can also reheat the iron. It's okay. So this is how you make the hammer. So keep the other one empty. Do not cook both of your iron. Just do one. So with that one, go over to the short shaft and drag it like that. And this is how you make the smithing hammer. So now we're going to repeat the process of warming up the forge again with the bellows. But yeah, now I can definitely show you guys what happens when you mess up. So let's put this on here, and then we're going to start the iron. So now you're going to start working with the smithing hammer from now on. So you're going to put the iron in here, cook it, and just like the round rock, you're going to hit it. So the axe is going to be the first one. But say you're trying to get to the shovel. The shovel's number 8. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But say you actually went too fast and went over. Unfortunately, on this one, it's not like the phone. I mean, not like the PC where you can go and refix your mistake. You literally have to wait for it to cool off. And you gotta start again. But what's nice is if you do mess up, basically just take the piece you made and treat it like it's a, I think it's called a watt, and just place it back in the bowl and then put the plate on top like that. And then it just goes right back into a steel crucible and you can create the one that you need. So we need to make another one of these real quick. So forge down using the hammer. And we already have the coal in the bowl, so we're just gonna place this, and we're gonna place this. And we're gonna get pretty much as far as warming these up, and then after we can get the iron out and cook them into the 2 things we need for the tutorial. But while we wait, we're gonna take this short shaft and we're gonna turn it into another long shaft, because both the axe and the shovel need long shafts. So we'll put them face to face like this. And then we're gonna just wait for the fire. All right. And the crucible should be cooled off now to give us our iron. So here's our first iron. And then let's get the second one. Alright, moment of truth, guys. Oh well. Now it's moment of truth. Oh. Alright, so now we're gonna warm up the iron. Alright. So whack it once with the hammer to get the axe. And now we need the shovel, so warm up the second piece. And you're gonna whack it 8 times to get the shovel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, there you go. Grab your axe, the axe head, drag it onto the long shaft like this, and there is your axe. You're gonna come over to this tree, you're gonna whack it, and you're gonna move all this stuff out of your way. Because you can't use your shovel if all this is in the way. So just grab it all out of there. Just clean it all up, because your destiny to be murdered by a snake is just there, just in your reach. And then you're gonna grab your shovel head, and you're gonna drag that to the long shaft. And then you're gonna walk over here, you're gonna dig up that stump, and now you have completed the challenge in 31 minutes and 38 seconds. And then you murder. But there you go, everyone. That was all 4. Is it 4? That is all the tutorials on the main menu of You Are Hope. I will edit it to make them as easy as possible, because sometimes I do ramble off a little bit. I do apologize. But I hope you find these helpful. And if you have any other tutorial suggestions or anything you'd like, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to work on it and get it posted as fast as I can. But you have a good night.